I think it's fair to say that the offense, outside of Quinshon Judkins, who had like 3 or 4 huge runs, outside of, actually there was a nice play or two in the passing game, it's fair to say you're still, if you're saying today I'm still not sold on the offense, I get that, but like when you got up the way you did and then you just kept going up, that wasn't going to be a game where Dillon Gabriel had to showcase himself. And I guess my thing is, I'd rather be sitting here judging Dillon Gabriel on less than 25 passing attempts in a game than we did a week ago, where it was 52 pass attempts, I think 58 dropbacks. Like, that's the situation where I feel more comfortable evaluating Dillon, even if I thought he was aggressively mid.
He's a supporting actor. Yeah. And I don't know why it's so hard for people to acknowledge that. He's not the main character. He's the supporting actor, and what he does on the field isn't going to be the same impact of a top 10 quarterback or anything like that. And it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing. I'm glad you said that. If you're watching Dillon and trying to grade him on can he be a franchise quarterback, he's already failed the test. All right? Because he doesn't have the things you need to be one of those guys. The question is, does he have the ability to start? And that still is. I started at a no. I'm still at a no. I think yesterday was some mix between his first game and his last game. He did. I mean, I don't know how the Dolphins DB whiffed on that interception that went to Jerry Jeudy, but he did. I can't give him an interception
for that.
That
was where Archuleta was at his finest, by the way.
Yeah.
He called it careless. That was good broadcasting right there. Like in the moment where everyone looks like, oh, you threaded the needle. Looks like what a bang play that was. And he's like, no, that was careless football. That was good broadcasting, Adam.
He did make a point. But no, I just it's funny. Well, no, because we're being positive.
Yeah, the in-laws thing, though. I thought we were trying to turn this around.
Cleveland's own Adam Archuleta.
Well, Cleveland's own his wife. His wife is the one that's Cleveland's own.
Yeah, we bagged one, guys. We bagged one. But no, I mean, I think it's fair to say through 3 games, well, I don't feel better about Dillon Gabriel. 1, this is where I have to do the generic defense, but it is 100% true. Guys, it's 3 games, right? Even the idea that we're going to grade 2 of these quarterbacks off relatively 13 games is an asinine idea in the first place, but we have to by virtue of what next year's stacking up to be, right? But yes, have I seen anything to dissuade me from thinking or changing my pre-draft analysis on Dillon Gabriel? Nope. But it's also okay to respond, it's 3 games.
Well, but I also see something in having no turnovers in 3 games, despite the idea that it feels like he should have 10 interceptions in those 3 games. Having no turnovers and playing that type of game yesterday, it just matters to Stefanski. Like I went into yesterday thinking to myself, they're really going to do this thing where it's Joe Flacco for the first 4 games, then it's Dillon Gabriel for the next 4, and then Shedeur gets the next 4 after that, and we would just do 4-game increments. But after watching yesterday, that's what Stefanski wants to do. Like that's his bread and butter. And like what Dillon Gabriel's doing might not impress us from a top 10, top 15 quarterback standpoint, but it is impressive to Stefanski. And this is the type of stuff that's going to keep him at least with the starting job longer than I think a lot of fans think that he will.
Maybe this is the way I'm thinking about it.
I mean, it could have looked like Tua yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. And who knows, by the way, what that 1 interception, how that might change if the Dolphins defensive back actually caught it. Who knows how that might have changed the approach yesterday. But when it comes to him, I'm like, I think people are just doing what you and I did 6 months ago, where I put the floor on Dillon at about a backup in the NFL, and I put the ceiling about a backup in the NFL. I think that's where he is. I think that's who he is.
Oh, he's better than what I saw in training camp. I think you'd agree with that as well.
Yeah, he was unplayable in training camp.
Unplayable.
And,
no, I mean, there's so many balls at the ground, it was just awful.
And the first preseason game.
Yeah, like there was a lot there. And listen, you watched all across the league yesterday. I mean, as good of a game as Bo Nix had one of the dumbest interceptions I've ever seen in my life. Jackson Dart, too. There were
They
many.
went tit for tat on dumbass interceptions
there
yesterday.
There were so many and I think that's what the NFL constantly reminds you. And Tua is a great example of this yesterday, too, because all 3 of those were just awful plays and awful throws by Tua. And obviously, like the one one with the soup can Campbell. That's a good play. That's good awareness. That's a good play.
Pretty good game there.
He did. He had a really nice game. Had a really nice game for himself. But there are so many easy ways to just look disastrous in the NFL at the quarterback spot. It's so easy to look embarrassing. And I'll say this, for 3 games, he himself has not been the thing that's been embarrassing. Supporting actor. There's nothing wrong with that.
2 weeks ago was embarrassing. That was a really awful game. Not all his fault.
The one with the 58 passes?
The Steelers game. Yeah. That, again, not his fault because of the situation he was put in.
I don't even put that on him.
He should have been picked off 6 times.
I counted one by one after the other. There was a lot of should-be interceptions, but Stefanski's not going to look at it that way either. You know what Stefanski's going to do. He's going to pull up the stats the way we pull them up and say, you show me the picks. You show me where he's been picked off. Now, what I'm waiting for, Nick, and this is the scary part about this, I'm waiting for a game where all those come to roost. I'm waiting for the game where
they will.
Where
you
all
play
those,
long enough.
Yeah, all those should have been interceptions and could have been interceptions actually turn into interceptions, and we have him looking like Tua did yesterday. But to this point, he looked much better than what I thought I saw, or than what I did see in training camp. And I'm not getting on Dillon Gabriel's bandwagon here. That's not happening. I still don't think he's a very good quarterback. But I at least can respect what he did yesterday.
I feel like if we did like a label tracker and every week we put a different label on it, I just think across the Dillon side of things, it would just be a constant Excel row of just back up. Well,
the Vikings game was acceptable, right? Yep. And then the last week's game, I couldn't even judge because it wasn't really even his fault. 58 times dropping back. Miserable offensive line, miserable wide receivers, the drops, the everything.
He was bad.
And then this last week he was back to acceptable. This was an acceptable performance by him. Are you winning a lot of games with this? No, but you need to win a lot of games with this. You beat the Dolphins.
If we were in the morning show, I'd power rank his performances, and his debut would be number 1. Yesterday would be number 2, and then a week ago would be number 3.
Oh, I would have yesterday as number 1. Yesterday was number 1. Even while
because he didn't have to
while throwing 7 passes to build up the 25-point lead. Yes, that's all you want from him. This is I don't get why people get this as a bad thing. You want him to be away as often as much as you possibly can. He is not.
I think what you're saying is meaner than what I'm saying.
It might be. People aren't going to take it that way though, which is kind of funny to me. But but it might be. The heart of it might be in that somehow I come across as being nice to Dillon by saying you're a good supporting actor. You're a good, and those win awards too, Nick. Those wins award too.
I thought it was interesting that some fans and the Shedeur Sanders hive linked up to be upset that he was not put in garbage time, including this caller on, I believe this was Baskin and Phelps earlier today.
Kyle in Cleveland, hello.
Or
hey, Ken, you're absolutely right. The only thing that could have went better yesterday was putting Shadore in. That stadium would have erupted like we just clinched a first-round bye. And that could have put some life back into the season that we're all struggling to find reasons to watch every week, and that would have been one. So, Ken, you're absolutely right.
That wouldn't have put life back in the season. What are you talking about? 4 minutes of Shadore Sanders handing the ball off to Quinshon or somebody else is not putting life back into the season, Nick.
No more than a 31-6 win over the Dolphins would.
I mean, how is that putting life back into the season? The game itself puts life back in the season, not Shadore handing off passes for 5 minutes.
I think it was the implication that somehow that would be better than like the crowd wasn't hyped up enough about winning 31-6. I wasn't there, so I don't know what the crowd was like. All I can tell you is, guys, if you were at that game yesterday and you weren't excited enough about that win, maybe stay off. Maybe the brain rot is real. I refuse to believe that the Browns fans, who I know have suffered through so much crap here recently, and certainly since before the little stretch of wins we've had with Stefanski, I refuse to believe that anyone was sitting there going, man, it's fine. It's okay. I understand that it happens after the game, once you get distance from the game, but during the game, I would just be doing shots and chugging beers and downing dogs. I would just be having the time of my life there, like I'm Sergio Dip.
Sergio Dip, he continues to have the time of his life. That's a reference I think 4 people got, but I'm one of them, so I appreciate you.
Target demo right there.
Jimmy Haslam on the sidelines was really funny because he was surrounded by it was multiple Shedeur Sanders jerseys, and I just thought that image was funny. The idea of him sitting there as the team is finishing off this win, and he's got the Sanders jerseys all around him, but it's like this is not what Stefanski wants to do, guys.
I think if Dillon had thrown for 300 yards and you were up 31-6, it would be different. Dillon got you a win. Dillon played turnover-free football, even though there was that almost turnover, to put Shedeur in at the end of that game. I think could have been disastrous for Dillon, who I think is still trying to build his confidence. I just don't think you do that right now. There's going to be a time and there's going to be a place. I don't think that's the right time and place to put Shedeur into a game.
It made sense to me why Miami put Quinn Ewers in, for instance. That made sense to me. It didn't make sense to me to see Shedeur in that moment. And I want to see Shedeur play, I really do. But even in that setting, is that the setting I really want to see Shedeur make his debut in? You get garbage time in a game that's a blowout, so you get to do what? While it's rainy and it's temperatures and wind of 35 to 40 miles per hour? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I don't get that logic.
I think he actually, the funny thing is, while I'm saying, hey, just don't do that to Dillon, and I think that's why Kevin never would have put Shedeur in, because anything positive that happens becomes an indictment on what you're trying to build with Dillon, and adds pressure that doesn't need be.
Dillon needs the reps more than anything right now. Like, that's the other side of this. It's a rookie quarterback. We're not talking about somebody that's a 7-year pro. It's a rookie quarterback that needs as many looks as he can possibly get. It's an ongoing learning session for Dillon Gabriel.
And I think there is an element on the Shedeur side that if he has a bad play in that, I think it carries more, I think it carries longer than if a good play happens. Because I think if he has a good play or makes a good throw, there's going to be a segment of people go, well, of course, there's no pressure. You're up 31-6. Whereas if he has a bad play, you're going to say, you're the worst thing to happen on Sunday.
Yeah, I want Shedeur in only in the event of something happening where Dillon Gabriel gets benched or something like that. I don't want him in garbage time, and especially in a situation right now where it seems like Dillon's going to have, with this win, what's he got, another 3-week leash built up? If we keep extending this with Dillon Gabriel, if he plays poorly against New England, he's not getting benched. Every win you get extends that just a little bit further.
I also think I'm going to try and keep the same rule for Dillon going in garbage time that we had I'm going to keep the same rule that we had when Dillon went in for Shedeur, which is, all right, the Baltimore Ravens just blew the doors off you. We don't want to endanger the quarterback. We're going to send the backup out there just to get him a couple reps. And then that's the scenario where, and because the negative inertia is so significant, negative is expected, and anything positive happens is, much like Dillon's touchdown against Baltimore, hey, that was a really nice play. He was efficient. He did what you needed to do.
Well, so I guess I would want to know, was the touchdown that Dillon had against Baltimore, was that enough for Stefanski to then evaluate and say, this is why we need to get Joe Flacco out of here after 4 games?
I'm trying to think. What was it after the 3rd game where there were talks potentially about benching Joe Flacco, or was that after the Baltimore game?
It was after the Baltimore game.
Then yes. It shouldn't be, by the way. It shouldn't be.
But if that's how Stefanski does operate, then, and again, I just think it was too early for Shedeur in this conversation, but if we get a spot 2-3 weeks from now where it looks like Dillon's not doing anything, then if that's how Stefanski can evaluate it, then I guess that's what we need to see.
216-474-0092. Did the Browns miss an opportunity to put Shedeur in for garbage time? Normally, I would be all about getting a kid opportunities in a game that isn't close, because every little rep in live action does help you. But I think in that scenario, I don't think it benefits Dillon. And I don't think it benefits Shedeur unless he has some 50-yard pass on a dime, and even then, it complicates the first part with Dillon.
Yeah, here's how it helps to look at the situation as of right now. Stefanski really thinks, if you just go through this lens, Stefanski thinks Dillon Gabriel is the quarterback for the rest of the season. If you operate through that lens, you're going to be more right with what their thinking is and how they process things than you're going to be wrong.
Chip, our guy on Facebook message saying, also, I'd rather have Sanders get the yips out when it doesn't matter. Agreed. But what kind of it doesn't matter matters? right? And I think when you're blowing a team out with a quarterback that is still, I don't want to say struggling, because I don't think Dillon struggled. He just wasn't given the opportunity to maybe pass his way into more virtuous stats. And I think it's, you're saying it perfectly. It's early to get those reps. I don't think we're to the need. I don't think he needs to get the yips out just yet at the expense of your actual starting quarterback.
And that's it. Again, just look at it as if the Browns think that Dillon Gabriel is the starter for until the end of season. And I promise you, Shedeur fans, the worldview of the Browns, it still might not make a lot of sense to people, but their thinking and their processing, I think you'll understand a little bit more from where Stefanski continues to make his decisions from, even if you disagree.